Hello and welcome to Feather and Flow Yoga. I'm Vicky and today I'm going to guide you through a short and gentle yoga flow for the hips and the low back. Before we get started, I'd just like to recommend that if you have any aches or pains in those areas or any issues at all, just to get some clearance from your doctor before beginning your practice. When you're ready, we'll begin in a child's pose. So coming over onto the shins, sitting back onto the heels and extending the arms out long in front of you. Bring the forehead down to the mat. Close the eyes here and take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale fully through the mouth with a sigh. Another one of those. Take a deep breath in through the nose, maybe the biggest one you've taken all day. And exhale through the mouth. Breathing now in and out through just the nose. Bringing your awareness to the breath. Noticing the sounds and the gentle movement of the body with each inhale and with each exhale. Bringing your awareness now to the back of the body, just taking a moment to scan through, checking in with how you're feeling today, noticing if there's any areas that maybe feel tight or tense, or maybe you just feel good today. Just scan through and check in with yourself without passing any judgment, without trying to change anything. And commit to allowing this practice to just be about honoring what your body needs. So not pushing yourself any further than you need. Knowing that in yoga, we really want to avoid pain. Sometimes a little bit of discomfort is okay, as long as you're just finding your edge. But as soon as you move anywhere close to anything painful, you need to back off. We really don't want to feel any pain at all. On your next inhale, lightly lift the head and rise up onto the fingertips. And begin to slowly and carefully walk the hands over to your right. So maybe the right hand will come off the mat. Inhale to create length through the spine. Exhale, melt down, bringing your forehead down to the mat. And just notice how the stretch shifts across to your left side. Still breathing fully in and out through the nose. Using your exhales to unwind any tense areas. Work through those knots. Inhale, lightly lift the head, rise onto the fingertips, and this time walk the hands over to your left. Maybe the left hand comes off the mat. Inhale for length. Exhale, melt down. Noticing how it maybe feels different on this side than it did on the other. Inhale, gently lift the head, rise onto the fingertips and guide the fingers back, the hands back to the center, and slowly round forwards to all fours, coming into your tabletop position. When you get there, making sure that your wrists, elbows and shoulders are all stacked in one long line, and your knees are about hip distance apart and they're under the hips. And we'll move through a few rounds of cat-cow here. So as you inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin and the chest, look up. And as you exhale, push the mat away, round through the spine, draw your chin to your chest and gently tuck the tailbone. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin and the chest, look up. Exhale, push the mat away as you round through the spine, draw chin to chest, gentle tuck of the tailbone. So continue moving like this in your own time. Feel free to pause anywhere that feels good. Lowering the belly as you inhale, rounding the spine as you exhale. Be mindful not to lock through the elbows. If you tend to hyperextend, just bring a gentle micro bend to the elbows. Let's just do one more in each direction. Make your way back to a neutral spine. On your next inhale, lift your right arm high, look up at the thumb. And as you exhale, thread the needle. So bring your right arm through that space between your left leg and left arm, coming all the way down to your right shoulder, and your right temple are going to rest on your mat. And you have the option to keep the left hand down by your side, Or you can gently lift the arm up, maybe it stays here, or even wrap the arm behind you, bringing the hand to rest on your right hip crease. So just find what feels good for you here. Breathing into the back of the shoulders. When you're ready, gently bring the left hand back under the left shoulder. Push into that hand as you inhale and lift up. Look up at the right thumb as you lift the arm high. Exhale, set the right hand down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Look up at the left thumb. Exhale, thread the needles. This time, left shoulder and left temple come down to your mat. Option to leave the right hand where it is, or maybe you want to lift it up to the sky and bring the fingers to rest in the hip crease. Maintaining that full, even breath in and out through the nose. And when you're ready, bring the right hand back under the right shoulder and push into that hand as you inhale and lift the left arm up, look up at the thumb. Exhale, bring the hand back down to your mat. So coming back to your tabletop position, take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, turn to look out over your right shoulder and notice how your hips maybe bump slightly to the left. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, look out over your left shoulder. Notice the movement of your hips. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, look out over your right shoulder. Feeling that stretch through the side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, looking out over the left shoulder. Inhale, come back through to center. Tuck the toes and begin to lift the knees and the hips up and back for your first downward facing dog. So take your time settling in, maybe pedaling through the legs, bending one knee deeply in and the other. Maybe shake out the head. Just take your time to come into this before finding your way into stillness. So when you get there, make sure that your hands are evenly taking the weight here. So you're not collapsing into your wrists, but instead you're pressing into all four corners of the hands. And pay particular attention to that space between the index finger and the thumb. Make sure that area doesn't lift. Push the mat away for long armpits, gazing towards the belly button or maybe the top of your thighs. The hips are lifted up towards the sky. You're intending to straighten your legs, but don't worry if they don't get totally straight. A little bend in the knees is fine. And intend to lower those heels down towards the mat. Again, no worries if they don't get there. And when you're ready, begin to slowly walk the feet up towards your hands. You can keep a big bend through the knees. When they get there, bring the feet so they're slightly wider than hip distance apart. And really fold over your legs, bring your belly to your thighs, and then take hold of opposite elbows with opposite hands. And let the head hang heavy, let the shoulders hang heavy here in ragdoll pose. And you have the option to stay still here, or you can gently sway from side to side. Feeling a release through the low back. Maintaining that flowing breath in and out through the nose. When you're ready, bring the hands down by your feet and begin to slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time. Your head and your shoulders will be the last thing to lift. Really go slower than you want to go. Feeling yourself unravel. And when you come to standing, come to the top of your mat and we'll find our way into Tadasana, a mountain pose. But I really want to be standing here with intention rather than, I think often the way that we stand just in our day-to-day life can have a negative impact if we're not standing with good posture. It can have a negative impact on our low back and our hips. So let's really set up with intention here. So traditionally we have our feet together in Tadasana, but if that's not comfortable for you, you can stand with them slightly wider apart. And then I like to imagine that I've just stepped into a footprint on the sand. So I'm really stepping in to my mat. I'm going to lift up all 10 toes, spread them wide, and then set them down. And really feel all of the areas of the sole of your feet that are touching the mat. You're really aware of how you're standing. And as you do so, you might notice that the arches lift lightly. standing strong through the legs. Then bring your hands to your hips. Just gently rock back and forwards with the pelvis until you find that neutral position. And that's where we want to stay. Then working our way up, bring your hands to your hips and then just slide the fingers towards one another until the big fingers touch. This area here, just under the navel, is the area that we want to engage. This is going to help you to build core strength, which is great for supporting the low back. So when I say engage, I don't mean really suck it in, just a really gentle engagement. Imagine that you just put on a corset and it's really tight, or a nice tight belt. That's the sense of engagement and awareness you want to bring to your belly. Then let the hands and the arms hang heavy and lightly draw the shoulder blades towards one another. From here, see if you can bring your chin so that it feels parallel with the mat. Maybe even take a second to close your eyes. Really notice how this feels, stepping into your body. Flutter open the eyelids, and as you inhale, lift the arms up overhead, look up at the thumbs. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come down for a forward fold, Uttanasana, belly to thighs, bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, find your halfway lift, hands can come to the shins for a neutral spine. Exhale, plant the hands and step back for a plank pose. So you can do a full plank like this, or you can come down on your knees and just send the hips lightly forward. But wherever you are, really push the mat away so you have a slight arc to the back of your shoulders. We're not staying here long, just one more breath in, and then as you exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Bring the tops of the feet to your mat and bring your elbows through so they are under your shoulders. So this is Sphinx pose, and I want us to really make sure that we're not compressing through the low spine. So to do that, I like to imagine that I'm bringing my chest through the gate posts, which are my upper arms. So I'm really peeling my chest through the gate, creating space through the spine. Shoulders are away from the ears. And on your next exhale, gently lower down and bring your hands under your shoulders, elbows tucked in by your sides, and as you inhale, lightly peel the chest up for a baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, engage your core muscles and use that core strength to sit up for a tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Send the hips up towards the sky, push the mat away for long armpits. Take a deep breath in through the nose and just exhale through the mouth with a sigh. When you're ready, begin to walk the feet towards the hands. As you inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, belly to thighs. Let the head hang heavy. Inhale, use your core to rise all the way up. Arms reach up overhead, look up at the thumbs. Exhale, hands come to the heart for Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, step wide along the long edge of your mat. So you're standing with your feet wide apart, and then lightly turn the toes in, so you're slightly pigeon-toed. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a deep breath in as you grow tall. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forwards for a wide leg standing forward fold, and bring the hands down under the shoulders with the elbows pointing back behind you. Let the head lower. Feel really heavy here. And if it's hard for your hands to come down, you can always use blocks to bring the ground up to you. That's always an option. And you can choose to stay here if this is feeling really yummy, or you can take a twist. So to do that, you'll bring your left hand to the middle in between your 2 feet. And as you inhale, twist, lifting your right arm up overhead and look up at the right thumb. Exhale, gently lower down. Set your right hand where your left hand is. Inhale, lift the left hand, look up at the left thumb. Exhale, lower down, bringing the hands back to shoulder distance and fold. Elbows point back behind you. On your next breath in, bring your hands to your hips and bend your knees deeply as you slowly roll all the way up. From here, heel toe the feet towards one another and come to a seated position on your mat. extending the legs out in front of you. So the feet are about hip distance, the toes point up to the sky. Bring your hands to rest down by your hips if they reach, and push into the ground, bringing length to your spine. And see if you can bring your shoulders lightly towards one another, the shoulder blades. Chest is open. See if you can bring your chin so that it feels parallel with the mat, almost making the capital letter L with your body. Gentle engagement to the core. This is Dandasana, staff pose. It's another one of those poses that often looks like we're not doing much, but it can be quite challenging to sit in the correct posture. It's great for building strength. One more breath here. Gently release. Bend the left knee and bring the sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. And then just square your upper body so that the right leg is central to your upper body. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, grow tall. Exhale, fold forward. So the hands come to rest wherever they do, passing no judgment whatsoever. And you have two options here. For a really good hamstring stretch, keep gazing out over the top of your toes, down at the ground, just slightly out in front of you. And imagine drawing your belly towards your thigh. Or if you feel that you want to gain more of a back stretch here, you're going to begin to lower the head down towards the knee. And just notice how that affects the stretch. The right toes point up to the sky. Try not to hold the breath. Keep breathing in and out through the nose, imagining with each exhale, releasing some of the tension. Maybe holding through the hips or the low back. As you inhale, slowly walk the hands back as you come to sit up tall, and we'll take it to the other side. So left leg extends. Bend the right knee and bring the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. Inhale, lift the arms, sit tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Hands come to rest wherever they do. Shoulders away from the ears. Remembering belly towards thigh and gazing out over the top of your toes for a really good hamstring stretch. Or lowering the head down towards the knee to feel that stretch travel up the back. Using your exhales as a comb to just work through any areas of tension. As you inhale, gently guide yourself back up to a seated position. Extend the right leg out long and come to lie on your back with the knees bent and the feet planted into the mat. Heel toe your feet so that they come right out to touch the edges of your mat, and then just let the knees droop in. Bring your hands to rest on your belly. Just noticing the rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. From here, heel toe the feet so that they are hip distance apart. Pick up the right foot and rest the ankle just above the left knee. So you're almost making a figure four with the legs. You have the option to stay here if this is already feeling good, or you can lift up the left foot, bringing it so that the shin is parallel with the mat. Flex both of the feet. Option to stay here, or you can interlace the hands around that left thigh and gently draw the legs in towards the chest, feeling a release through the low back and that right hip. This is a great pose if you have sciatica. Find that release. Breathe into the low back. Tuck the chin slightly so you have a nice long neck. And when you're ready, gently release, setting the left foot down first and then unraveling the legs. And we'll take it to the other side. This time, left ankle rests on the right thigh, just above the knee. Option to stay here or to lift up the right foot, bringing the shin parallel with the mat. Option to stay here or to interlace the hands around the right thigh and gently pull the legs in towards the chest. And just take a second to notice how one side feels different to the other. I know this is my tighter side. We often have one side that feels slightly tighter than the other, and that's just perfectly normal. When you're ready, gently release, bring the right foot down to the mat, followed by the left. And from here, let's just hug the knees into the chest. Noticing how that feels. Keep a gentle tuck of the chin. And you can stay still, or you can gently rock from side to side. Give your back a little massage. And then take hold of the tops of the knees and begin to circle the knees, making a circle about the size of a dinner plate. Just feeling that circular motion on the low back. When you get to the top of your next circle, change direction. From here, place the feet down on the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Hands come down by your side and begin to press evenly into your feet so that the hips lift up. Building strength through the glutes. When you get to the top, lightly squeeze the glutes. And you have the option to stay here, or if you want to go a little further, you can interlace the hands and gently roll onto the sides of the arms, allowing you to lift up a little higher. Wherever you are, try not to let the knees splay out to the sides. Try and keep them on top of the ankles, in line with the ankles. Maybe imagining that you're holding a ball or a block in between the two knees. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. And when you're ready, gently unravel and lower down. Extend the legs out long and hug the right knee into the chest. Remembering to keep a gentle tuck of the chin, protecting our neck. Take hold of the knee with your left hand and send your right arm out to the right. And use your left hand to pull that right leg up and over the body for a twist. So you're bringing your right knee down towards the ground. And then if it feels okay for your neck, you can turn to look out over your right shoulder. Twisting from the navel. Twists are so great for keeping the spine supple and flexible. With each exhale, seeing if you can maybe lower the right knee and the right shoulder slightly more towards the ground. Passing no judgment, just letting wherever you are be enough. Gently guide that right knee back to the center using your left hand. Extend the right leg out long, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. This time, hug in the left knee to the chest. And when you're ready, take hold of it with the right hand, sending your left arm out to the left. Using your right hand to pull that leg up and over the body. And if it feels okay, turn your head out to your left. Look out over your left shoulder. Initiating the twist from the navel. Feeling heavier with each exhale. When you're ready, gently guide that left leg back to the center and extend it out long. Bringing the feet out wide, maybe as wide as your mat. Hands can rest on your belly. If it's not comfortable to lay like this on your low back, you can always tuck a rolled up blanket or a bolster under the knees to give you a little bit more support on the low back. And feel free to pause the video here as you take Shavasana, allowing your body time to soak up all the good work that it's just done. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you like this video, please let me know by dropping a comment in the comments box or a thumbs up. and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Namaste.